Good afternoon everyone, here's our latest video update on Tropical Storm Bopha, which is now moving across the western Pacific Ocean near the Caroline Islands. It was last looked at approximately 260 kilometers south-southeast of the islands of Chuuk, or about 630 kilometers west-southwest of Pohnpei. Maximum sustained winds have increased slightly to 75 kilometers per hour with gusts of up to 110 kilometers per hour, according to JMA. A Joint Typhoon Warning Center has slightly higher wind estimates on this system, putting it at sustained winds of around 95 kilometers per hour. So a 20 kilometer per hour difference there between JMA and JTWC. You can also see the system has accelerated to 15 kilometers per hour in its forward speed, moving west-northwestward in the past 6 hours here, and you can definitely see the system has moved near Chuuk compared to yesterday, when it has been meandering in this area here southwest of Pohnpei. System looks better, much more organized compared to yesterday as well. You also see poleward outflow increasing, and again the system continues to improve, continues to intensify, and as we've said before, we expect this to become a typhoon perhaps as early as tomorrow evening. And if you look at the enhanced infrared image from the NOAA website, you can definitely see the westward motion of the system very apparent here. You can see the islands of Chuuk right here and Pohnpei, parts of the Federated States of Micronesia. You can also see the convective activity remaining pretty strong. It has been pulsing up and down because of the diurnal cycle, but again been keeping that constant activity in that storm center, and again taking advantage of that favorable conditions in the region. We have weak wind shear all throughout the forecast track, and also some very warm waters out here in this part of the Pacific Ocean. Definitely not thing that would significantly hinder this system from intensifying further. Now as for the track, again the system is moving generally west-northwestward technically, but we expect the system to continue moving westward and under that entrenched subtropical ridge out here in the Pacific. Will keep the system fairly south at the latitude around 5 to 6 degrees north of the equator, moving south of Chuuk later tonight, perhaps bringing rain showers and even some breezy conditions. In fact, we have tropical storm warnings here issued by the National Weather Service for the Chuuk and also the nearby atolls. Even Pohnpei recorded rainfall amounts of 60 millimeters yesterday evening as the system moved across, so at least some rain showers even far away from the storm center. Now by Friday, the system is expected to pass well south of Guam, so not really expected to bring any significant impacts over there. Perhaps some high surf, probably looking at some high surf warnings or advisories being posted there. In terms of the long-term forecast here, looking at the computer models here, starting with the Canadian model, see system moving westward, again under that subtropical ridge, which is fairly entrenched in this part of the Pacific Ocean, particularly here in the Philippine Sea. Now looking at the different computer model, this is the UK model, the United Kingdom model, again showing a westward turn, perhaps turning more west-northwestwardly by perhaps Sunday or Monday, passing near the islands of Palau and Yap, which are located around this region, not depicted on this map, but again located somewhere in this region. So definitely need to watch out for possibility of even a typhoon system moving near the region. So definitely impacts of very strong rains and strong winds and heavy rains. Looking out here for the other computer model, we have the Navy model or the NOGOPS model, also showing a westward track, but compared to the other two models that we've shown, is much more northerly in terms of its location. As you move into perhaps a part of next week, you can definitely notice it curving more to the north, perhaps away from the Philippines. Finally, we have the GFS model, also showing that westward turn, and this model is the perhaps northernmost outlier, I should say, in terms of the forecast track, again taking the system northwestwardly perhaps passing near Palau and Yap as well, but definitely avoiding the Philippine Islands by the middle part of next week. So if this model holds true, then definitely good news for the Philippines, as they will not be experiencing any sort of stormy conditions. But again, we can't discount the other 3 computer models that I've shown, showing a generally westward track, especially here by the Canadian model, straight runner, as they say, into perhaps the central part of the Philippines. Now the European model, which I can't show here, is also showing a generally westward turn. Remember, yesterday we were talking about it curving northwestward. It has changed its forecast significantly to the west now, and showing a track across eastern Visayas. So keep in mind that these computer models do change from time to time. We are talking about a scenario 5, even 7 days away. So still lots of uncertainties and still lots of factors to really resolve before we can accurately predict what will happen during the time frame. Of immediate concern, though, are the islands of Palau and Yap, which are definitely under the gun from the system's forecast track. And looking at the official forecast here from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, and taking the system westward, and then perhaps a west-northwestward turn passing between Palau and Yap by Sunday evening. Again, definitely going to be feeling some effects here, perhaps even typhoon force conditions now, expecting this to become a 100-knot typhoon. It's a category 3 typhoon impacting this region by that time. Definitely a very dangerous situation playing out for Palau and Yap. Now you can also see the forecast cone of error, the uncertainty error, being pretty big out here as we move into the early part of next week, and showing you how uncertain we still are in terms of the forecast for this system. Finally, we have the Japan Meteorological Agency's forecast here, 5-day forecast as well, tracking westward and west-northwestward, much closer to Palau compared to Joint Typhoon Warning Center if you compare the 2 agencies here, showing a track just north of Palau by Sunday evening or perhaps early Monday morning here. Japan Meteorological Agency, perhaps intensity forecasts only go out 3 days from now, but if you extrapolate that, they could also be showing a typhoon by this time, impacting parts of Palau and Yap and the rest of Micronesian islands. So definitely of immediate concern, as I said before, are the residents here across Yap and Palau. Definitely need to continue closely monitoring the system, even if it doesn't make landfall. These are pretty small islands, so landfall is pretty difficult. But again, a track either side of the cone could definitely impact to bring dangerous conditions for these islands as we head into the weekend, early part of next week. The timing, if you want to be specific timing around here, is perhaps Sunday evening or Monday morning. So we expect those worst conditions to occur. Now, as for Guam, as we said before, the system will be moving well south of that, so not really expected to see any significant impacts there, except for maybe again for some high surf around this region. And that concludes our video update for today. Again, continue checking out this official weather agency, especially National Weather Service out there in Guam, which has the jurisdiction across the Federated States of Micronesia, giving out tropical storm watches and warnings and other forecasts there as well. Stay safe, guys.